Hello internet, it is August 23rd and here is my daily cryptocurrency journal. Full disclosure, I am not a financial advisor, so if you're looking for financial advice, then please consult someone who is licensed, not me. This is just my personal journal. Anyways, so Bitcoin is looking pretty good to me. I'm pretty bullish for today because we had this liquidity grab yesterday and a strong reaction from the lows. If I check the CVDs for Bitcoin, you can see that once this low was put in, you can see the large liquidations that occurred here. It looks like over 5 million liquidations occurred here. You can see that there was a strong futures and spot bid. You can see that it was first spot that was leading the move, right? And then futures followed suit shortly, and basically had all these short liquidations, and price ate through all these liquidations, right? So you could see shorts covering, which is pretty bullish to me, right? And then we had this period of consolidation here where both futures was selling, spot was still buying here, right? But it looks like futures was kind of trying to control the market here. You had a little bit of a move up here before coming down here. And it looks like on this move down, looks like it was driven by spot because the basis is going up while both spot and futures is going down. You had this little bit of accumulation that occurred here, and now we are retesting the top here. So that's kind of a breakdown of what was going on over the evening, right? So I am bullish right now. I'm expecting us to come take these highs. You know, there's lots of resistance right here, but after we put in this liquidity grab, I think it's very likely that we come up above here and possibly consolidate. It's unclear on whether or not we'll hold above here for continuation, or if we'll hold above here just to get rejected. I guess that depends on what the spot in the futures bid looks like. But just seeing this move up, even this move right now is being driven by spot because the basis is going down. So that's looking very good. So right now, with this liquidity grab, I'm thinking this could either be a spring of some sort in terms of Wyckoff, or it could be a sign of weakness. But because of how strong the reaction was from the bounce right here, and even on this move up, seeing that it is spot driven, that gives more credit to the idea. I think it's higher probability that this is a spring of some sort, right? Now, if we were seeing spot selling here and it was futures that was driving these moves up, then I would think it could be more likely that this is a sign of weakness, but that's not what we're seeing, or that's not what I'm seeing at the moment. So I do think that this is a spring of some sort, and we might be working on a sign of strength right now. So what happens in here, we'll have to wait and see to see what the spot in the futures bid looks like, you know, and if people start aping in, like it looks like open interest is slowly increasing here. Whether or not these are shorts or longs, I am uncertain. But here, let me check the funding rate. Okay, so not too much signal, honestly. It does look like funding rates were declining here, kind of going up, oscillating back and forth. So not really much signal, but I'll be keeping a close eye on open interest to see if we do get some aggressive shorters or if we get some aggressive longs that enter in on the move up. Okay, so that is my bias for today. I'm bullish. BTC had a nice liquidity grab and a bounce off the lows with strong spot and futures bid. For continuation, I'd like to see spot and futures bid pick up, and that is exactly what we're getting right now. Both spot and futures picking up. Retest of this high. This may have been the pullback to get involved in, and it looks like I missed that, unfortunately, but I will have to look for another entry as long as this continues up. What is the bearish scenario? Okay, we make our way down to 25.75, midpoint of the range, and lose that and seek liquidity near the bottom of the range. So basically, if you take the midpoint of this low to this high, you have the midpoint that is right here. And that is my bullish scenario, as we actually head back down here to test this midpoint, right? And if we lose this, we could possibly make our way down lower to test some of the liquidity down here. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And one thing that is kind of bullish to me is the fact that we're holding above the midpoint right here, right? Like this bounce didn't even get a chance to hit the midpoint of the range. Similarly, if you look back on this move up, if you look back on this move, take the low to the high, right? You never even made it down to the midpoint at any point. At any point during this time, even if I come up here, it never makes it down to the midpoint. But what it does do is it does hold above the 236 Fibonacci level. We dip beneath the 236, but then we do hold it right here, right? We never even make it down to the 0.5, which that is bullish to me. So look at that. Continuing to push higher. which is looking very nice. Okay, so the Wyckoff structure. I already talked about this a little bit, but it does look like this could be accumulation. It looks like this could potentially be the a spring, right? I was unclear on whether or not this was going to be a spring or a sign of weakness, but I think it's a higher probability that this is a spring since we had a strong reaction from futures and spot. Okay, which coin looks the strongest today? Bitcoin and Sol look strong. Sol price action has been congruent with BTC, so as long as BTC does well, then I think Sol will do well too. And just looking at the Solana CVDs, you can see it looks like there is accumulation. You're having sideways price action from futures and spot, right? But the price action has been very congruent with Bitcoin. Which coin looks the weakest? Composition looks the weakest just because if we zoom in here on the lower time frame, it's just kind of trading sideways. You know, you did have this big UTAD that was put in, and you did have this downtrend, so it's unclear on whether or not we're actually going to break this trend, right, or if we're going to continue down. I think composition will probably trade sideways for the most part until Bitcoin does a big move of some sort. And if Bitcoin does break out or have a move, then I think a comp could be a good coin to long, because it does have explosive moves when it is ready to run, like right there. Okay, so the Wyckoff structures of the altcoins I'm focusing on. Solana has been in a downtrend, but it looks like it put in a spring of some sort. So again, like, okay, if this is your entire range right here, this is your selling climax, this could be potentially the spring right here. So it does look like it is accumulating. Solana is accumulating right now and could have a pretty explosive move to the top of the range here, so long as Bitcoin does break out and Bitcoin does do well. And when I say breakout, I mean just like, I think Bitcoin will run these highs, but if we break out of here, then I think it's pretty likely that Solana will at least minimum make a move here and possibly up even higher here. We'd have to go to a larger time frame to get a better target of what we could be seeing for Solana, maybe even something up here to retest the lower parts of these wicks, but we'll cross that bridge once we get there. Okay, XRP looks to be accumulating, although if BTC fails, I think XRP would take another large fall. It looks like XRP may have put in a UTAD on a higher time frame. It could also very well be a sign of strength. So basically you had your selling climax, huge selling climax right here with that liquidation wick, right? You had your automatic rally right here. This to me right here looks like it could be a sign of strength or a UTAD, right? So if this is indeed a sign of strength, right, we've been holding this point here and we should see this come up and break this high. Although if Bitcoin does break down, this is much more likely to be a UTAD of some sort, right? And then we'll break down here, possibly running these lows, seeking liquidity lower. So it all depends on what Bitcoin's going to do at the end of the day. Okay, so that is my thoughts for the start of the session. I will see you guys at the end of the session. Later. All right, internet, it is the end of the trading day, and the trading day went very well. As you can see, Bitcoin did indeed end up having a nice rally up to the top of this. We blew past these highs, of course, and we're kind of consolidating in between here. Now I'm waiting to see if we are going to continue to consolidate up here, which would be bullish to me and signal some sort of continuation, or if it's possible that we're just going to get a retracement of some sort before coming down. And if that happens, then it increases the likelihood that this could be a UTAD of some sort, which would mean that we come revisit the lows. Right now, because spot and futures appears to be bidding, looks like they're trading sideways right now. As long as those bids stay sideways or they start to pick up, then I think it's much more likely that we hold this, right? Maybe take out this low for a quick liquidity grab before continuing up. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, today went very well. I ended up taking a Solana long at the start of the day. I took it around in here. I believe I got in, yeah, once we had this candle right here, I got in like around right here, and then I rode it up all the way to the top. I had my stop loss underneath about right here. When this move happened, it stopped me out in profit. So I did miss some of this move, but it's okay because I was doing other stuff at the end of the day, so I wouldn't have been able to manage it. But what's also interesting with this flush that happened in this trend is it coincided with an OI reset for Solana. So as you can see, we had this move up. It looks like you had an increase in open interest, and then once you actually had that pullback, you had a really nice pullback here in the open interest too, bottomed out, and then open interest is slowly starting to increase right now. So that's interesting, something to just keep in mind. So today went very well, took one trade and it was a very big win. That was my Solana long. What went well today is my BTC bias was correct. I entered in a Sol long and had a good trade. What can be improved? So I could have been a bit more patient with my execution. Doing so would have gotten me a better entry. I could have also woken up earlier, which would allow me to get a better position as the trend had not fully gotten started at the start of the day. So basically I kind of procrastinated at the start of the day. I woke up late and I didn't get straight to the charts like I usually do, and that's something I can improve on, just being more consistent with waking up and, you know,
sticking to a regimen of some sort instead of procrastinating right away. Okay. So yes, my BTC PA was correct and my bias was correct. Sol and comp ended up being the strongest. So from this move, it looks like, so Bitcoin itself, this move was 3.7%. Okay, Solana on the other hand increased a lot more significantly. So it went up about 5% to even like 6% here as we're like continuing up higher for Solana. Composition also had a strong move of about, yeah, like 6-7% here. From here it was like 5%. XRP on the other hand did not perform very well. You know, it had about a 3% move, kind of congruent with Bitcoin. It looks like if we check the Bitcoin pair, yeah, it's kind of just trading sideways with Bitcoin. So looks like this could be accumulation of some sort. Would be nice if we did have a big explosion in XRP. That's usually what it seems like for XRP, is that kind of trades sideways along with Bitcoin before it actually explodes. Anything interesting about the altcoins I was trading, okay, and the price action? Nothing really out of the ordinary though. It was interesting to see the strength of Sol even when BTC began to pull back, and also the Sol OI flush plus reset, which I discussed already. Yeah, so tomorrow's focus is again stellar execution and being a bit more patient. Yeah. So that's kind of it for the trading day. It went very well. This week has been going very well for me. Mostly wins, which feels good, right? I've only had one losing trade this week. And yeah, I am feeling good, and I want to keep this consistency. You know, obviously, oh, it looks like I've had 2 misses. My bad. So 2 misses, but most days have been positive. Obviously, I'm going to have some losing days. That's just part of the game. But it feels like I'm just being a bit more consistent this week. And yeah, that feels good. But anyways, okay, that's the end of today's video. Thanks for watching, and peace out.